Scientists and researchers have been looking at hair and how to identify and characterize different scale and medulla patterns and developing reference sets for decades now. Where the struggle has been is digitizing and archiving to have reference sets that are readily available online where you can pull them up and zoom in and out and look at them in really high quality images. It seems as though there's still a good number of folks out there that are developing their own reference collections, and maybe they don't have the tools to properly digitize them, or they don't have the time and the funds and the support. I think we were just in a good situation where we had this collections grant and we had the support and we had the funding to give the students the opportunity to work on it. This database specifically will be the first publicly available digital database that's online through Symbiota and that captures all mammals throughout the Southeast. A part of how it started was we had a diet study going on the landscape where we were looking at sympatric carnivores and trying to figure out how different carnivores on the landscape are partitioning resources. So are some eating fruits and berries at a certain time of the year? We know coyotes and fox depend heavily on vegetation in the summer and fall. What happens in the winter when bobcat, gray fox, red fox, and coyote are all on the landscape. Coyote are relatively new to the landscape. And so we were really interested at the local scale of figuring out what their resource partitioning was. And part of that is looking at diet. You end up with a big blob of hair, essentially. And so trying to figure out what is in that hair. Is it mostly white-tailed deer? Are there small mammals in there? If there are small mammals, the length of that hair is all very similar. Is there a way to figure out how those hairs vary? We've contacted all the large publicly available databases, and there's not anything out there yet. And so that was exciting for us because that meant something that the students could work on.
Oh, we got something there, some form of an appendage.
When we bring students into the lab, they really are involved from the beginning. So they're very heavily involved with the literature review. They help develop hypotheses, they help develop methods. This summer, the students are going to be going up to Alaska and they'll be presenting work at the International Mammalogical Conference. So that will be a great outlet to be able to show the work to an international group that's specific to mammals and see if anyone's interested in going global and adding to the database. I think a global database would be great to have all the animals across the world documented in this way. It'd be really beneficial to a number of agencies. Fish and Wildlife Service, for one, they deal a lot with wildlife trafficking. It's one of the largest natural resource crimes out there. I think it's somewhere between 8 to 10 billion a year. A lot of times the animals that are coming in are just portions of an animal, and so being able to identify just the hair and have a really good reference collection would be ideal. I think the impact from a student perspective is pretty critical. A lot of our students do have to work to support themselves going through college, and they're all very hardworking, but a lot of times that work, they have to go outside of Western. So they're working at local retail stores or local restaurants. So having access to these grant funds really helps those students get hired in a field that they are interested in pursuing, and so that goes on their resume as experience. And so when they leave Western, they already have experience in the field, and that makes them a lot more marketable. I assumed when I started it would be 10 or 15 years before I had students working locally with local agencies, because everyone wants to be in the mountains and it's really difficult to get back to this spot. And I already have 3 students that are fully employed full-time and working for agencies, and they now come in and talk to the class when I'm teaching. And that for me is the best part, just having students back in the classroom that went through this program so that our students can see, hey, I can be that successful. This person did it in just 5 years, so I can do it too.